One of the greatest treats for me in the years past was soda. I love the syrupiness. It is wonderful. The bubbles, the syrup. And I've even tried water with bubbles, and it's not the same. I like the syrupy sweet of it. So I drank Coke for many, many years. And in my 30s, the doctor made it pretty clear that with both parents having diabetes, I needed to give up the Coke and go to water. But if I couldn't, to go to Diet Coke. And so I reluctantly switched. It tasted a little funny at first, but it soon became my go-to beverage. And through the years, it went from, a Diet Coke a day to several a day. And I particularly liked it after lunch at 2 o'clock. It was a ritual I had that to kind of get me after the afternoon slump. I would have a Diet Coke and finish up my work the last couple hours of the day. And I couldn't just have like a can. I like to get the big fountain, giant one that's pretty much a half gallon of Diet Coke. That was my routine. And so one day I felt this pang in my heart, this twinge of that this Diet Coke had become too much. And I actually heard out of my mouth that I could not live without my Diet Coke. And I said it in jest. I certainly didn't mean it, but I heard myself say it and I thought, this isn't good. But I wasn't quite ready to deal with it yet. And so I kind of, in my heart, said, we'll talk about this later, Lord. I can't deal with this right now because the thought of not having that 2 o'clock. And so the next couple of days, I continued to do it. But of course, it's kind of in the back of your head. Those of us that are more mature Christians and have spent some time with the Holy Spirit know that once he said something, it's from him because it kind of keeps, it kind of keeps after you. And so you just really feel like a change has to be made. And so as I prayed about it, it became very apparent to me that Diet Coke had become a god to me, that I had put it in first place over my God. And so as I kind of pictured this idea that, God, the creator, the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning and the end, the one who sent his son to die for me, became second to this carbonated beverage. I mean, how does that even happen? It all of a sudden became a ridiculous, ludicrous notion that as a Christian, I've been walking with Jesus for many years, had now had a carbonated beverage a step above the great I am. And that realization hit me hard. And I, that day, gave up Diet Coke. Now, I wish I could say I never had one more because 2 days later I had one more. And I remember the moment I felt guilty the entire time because I knew it wasn't right. And I knew with me, I couldn't put it in its place if it was in my life at all. It needed to go. And so I stopped after that last one, the real last one, and I haven't had one in the last couple years. So I feel like I don't know if I could have it in moderation. So for me, I chose not to because I know it seems dramatic in some sense of the word that, oh my gosh, it's just Diet Coke. And, we can see God in your life in other places. So I don't understand what the big deal is. But if you remember in Exodus, the exact words are, I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God. He's not jealous, and he's jealous in a righteous way. He's jealous in that he created us. We are his creation. And how could we find any other creation greater than him? It just doesn't make sense. And it separates us from his goodness. And it's not that I could feel no goodness. I certainly was blessed by God during that time. But who is your master? Who is your master? Is it truly God in every area of your life? Or are you finding things of this world? A Diet Coke. I, that's how silly I am. Maybe you have other things money or a person, right? Your parent or your spouse, somebody is greater. And so I just ask you to consider, who is your master? Because if it's something in here in your physical body that is, and it's not the great I am, I would ask that how that master's going to save your soul. Because is it really worth your soul, whatever that master is? For me, it wasn't. For me, I had to get rid of it and get it out of my life in order to make sure that God knew He was my master. He was my number one. God bless.